Guernica, how are you? Welcome. Where are you at currently? Where are you joining us from?
I'm at home in Stockholm. I've been out all day. You can't really see it now, but I've like burned my face. So I'm in another lighting. I'm pretty red, or I feel like I'm burning up. But I've been out in the sun all day. We have really nice weather here in Sweden, and
Oh,
yeah, I'm in Stockholm.
I have wanted to visit, like, Sweden's like my bucket list number one place to visit. I've never been. I've always wanted to go during summer, like maybe during the midsummer festivals, unless it's like the movie Midsummer, in which case maybe not. What do
I
you think?
haven't, but it's like isn't that a scary movie?
Yeah, very. It's like if a midsummer festival went wrong and people started just killing random tourists.
Yeah, no,
You
that's
know,
not usually how we do it.
it looks amazing. I've wanted to go so bad. So I got to make a Scandinavian trip here coming up, hopefully. So you guys have been relentlessly touring this summer, lots of shows. You just did Whack It and Vakken like last week, right?
Yeah, hell
How
yeah.
did you guys do an acoustic set? I saw like 40 seconds of a clip where you guys were playing acoustically.
Yeah, we did. The debut, like on the Wednesday, we did a small like club show at Wacken for like 200 people. And I mean, it was like 30 degrees. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you have Fahrenheit here? It was Celsius. Anyways, it was super.
Fahrenheit. I get it.
It was so hot. I think at points at that like that show we were just like it was just too hot to be inside, but it was really fun. We did some songs, really like spontaneous, became very like rockabilly vibe and stuff. We were all like shocked in the moment, but it was a really good time. And then the day after we did the big the proper show on the louder stage, which is like the third biggest stage, like the third, yeah.
Well,
Almost
all
biggest.
looked amazing. Gosh, sharing the stage with, I think, Judas Priest, Slipknot, Limp Bizkit. So many great bands are there, and the Thundermother logo just gets bigger and bigger on the poster every year, every festival. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, I mean that's yeah, we're happy about the progress. It's continuing going in the right direction, and I think yeah, I'm proud of our hard work because it's paying off.
Absolutely, guys. And again, we're speaking with Guernica Mancini, the front woman from Thundermother from Sweden. What a tremendous band, a band I've been following for a long time. And to see kind of where things are going is gratifying for me as a fan, and now for you guys as well. The new album, it comes out, gosh, it's next week. By the
Yeah.
time that this airs, it'll be next week, next Friday, August 19th. It's called Black and Gold. I've got it right here from our good friend Dustin, who's great, by the way. I made fun of him earlier. Thank you so much for all that you do. And I got the album right here. Tremendous. I think you guys have 4 videos already in the can leading up to this. So how important we're kind of getting the videos out there leading up and kind of creating anticipation for this album.
I mean, first of all, it's the first time we released so many singles, so like so close to each other. So it's been like one song a month, and it's been super hectic, but it's been fun to also do it in this way. And yeah, the videos have been interesting. If we had more time, I mean, we're doing this while touring, while doing everything ourselves. So we had to like be very creative with making these videos. So yeah, this video and the video that's coming out next week are both like recaps from tour life. So it's like a little diary vibe on the whole thing. But I think the fans enjoy watching that too, because you get to see us like, yeah, doing our thing behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're right. And I think it's very interesting that the use of videos now. It's like when I grew up, it was MTV, and kind of that's how it worked. And then we took a huge step backwards, I think, for many years. And now uh, various record labels, they're kind of seeing the value of the visual aspect. People are on YouTube all day and getting to see these videos. Some of yours have just an insane amount of views. And I Don't Know You is probably my favorite. That's an animated video. It's awesome. Very well done. So these are, I think, are a great tool and really helpful for you guys as the album gets set to release. And there's so many just absolutely crunching tracks on this thing. Wasted, Watch Out, Loud and Free. I always say this, Guernica, see if you agree. I say that the best American rock and roll today comes from Sweden. Thank you for that. And this is just
I agree.
another.
No kidding.
another notch in the cap right here. Another example is this album, and that's great. And so Sweden is, you guys are just kicking our ass right now. What do you attribute that to? How's that happening?
I think it's just a pure love for the music, to be honest. I mean, it sounds cheesy, but we really love this. We love classic rock, and we're all very creative, and we love catchy tunes. So I guess that's it. We really do. We try to create stuff that we would enjoy ourselves, obviously, and we also have big dreams, big ambitions. We want to conquer the world, and we want and that would be playing arena. So we had that in mind a lot when we wrote a lot of the songs for the album. Just this would work really well in a big venue, in an arena, yeah. So
well, Americans aren't going to have to wait long for you to unveil these songs in a big arena, because your tour with the Scorpions starts here just in a couple weeks in Toronto. That'll be in Canada, but this is going to be so awesome. It was supposed to be, of course, with Whitesnake as well. They had to drop off the tour, but a lot of people are speculating maybe more time for a Thundermother set, more songs. How excited are you to come here and do this tour with the Scorpions, one of my favorite bands of all time? I will be seeing the show Guernica September 21st in Tulsa. That's the closest one for me, so I'll see you in about a month. But just talk about the excitement for this tour, and will we get maybe more Thundermother songs since Whitesnake has dropped off?
yes, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say this, but I'll do it anyways. Yeah, we did get like 10 minutes more, so we're doing 40 minutes, which is awesome.
Yes.
We get to showcase more songs, which we're very excited about. We just settling the song, deciding on the songs yesterday, now that we get to add some stuff. So yeah, it's very exciting. And yeah, getting to open for a legendary band like Scorpions is just, I mean, it's kind of overwhelming when I think about it, but I'm very excited to be there and to get to check off a lot of like bucket list things for me that I've had for years. Yeah.
Well, and the timing couldn't be more perfect. The album's coming out. People are going to hear these songs, like you said, in a big environment, in an arena setting, and these songs are made for that. I'm so excited for this. I was so pumped when I saw you guys were on the tour, and now even more so, even though I love Whitesnake, and I was so disappointed that they couldn't do the tour. But this is what a pairing and what an opportunity for you guys. Swedish bands are having trouble. European bands in general have been having trouble getting visas. I heard everything was like so backed up. Our good friends Crazy Looks and Eclipse couldn't make it over for a festival here. Was that a trouble for you guys trying to get all that stuff together?
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest here. We haven't gotten our passports back yet, so we're still like every day hoping and praying that everything is gonna go our way. We know that we are. We've got the like okay from like the American side, but now the Swedish department, I guess the embassy here in Sweden, needs to decide as well. So there's a lot of places where it goes through before you get your passport with a visa in it. So I mean, until I have my passport back, nothing is 100%, but in our minds we're going. we have tickets for Canada, and then just hope that the passport get here on time.
Well, I will make sure that whether it be by legal means or not, that we get you guys here. Don't worry, you can just come in through our southern border in Mexico. It's fine. Well, that's allowed, so no problem. That's gonna get me in trouble. Sorry, we'll cut that part out.
This is not ever gonna be allowed back in this.
Yeah, exactly. It's over. This is great. This has been such a great summer for you guys. Lots of shows, and to come to this is so exciting. Guernica, I want to talk about just kind of how you became a member here of Thundermother, because the band had been around since I think 2010, and there was kind of a reformation that had to take place as kind of members had come and gone. You came on board what, in 2017 or 18?
17. Yeah.
And how did that happen? What was that like?
I mean, at the end of 2016, I reached out to Filippa. We knew each other from the music scene here in Sweden, just to ask her some advice, because my then bass player had quit the band. It's so stupid when I know everything that's happened in Thundermother, but yeah, it's ridiculous. It's very Spinal Tap-ish, but it doesn't matter. Yes, so I reached out to her to just see if she knew anyone that I could, contact. And in that conversation, she she then shared with me that, yeah, we're having some problems, but she never said what. And me being the person that I am, I mean, I just threw it out there. Like, if you ever need a singer, I'm definitely interested. I'll be there tomorrow. And then she kind of like, oh, well, actually, would you be interested in auditioning? And yeah, the rest is history.
Wow. And so, fortuitous both for you and for the band who, was in need at the time, and who knows what would have happened had you not come along. So one thing about Thundermother that just blows me away, because I'm such a fan of so many Swedish bands, very good friends with the guys in Crazy Licks and in Heat and in Eclipse. There's so many bands, but they're kind of maybe more on the, I don't know, kind of the more hair metal side, I guess, if you would want to make a comparison, maybe more on the, they call it the new wave of Swedish sleaze. That's hard to say, by the way, but
Okay.
you guys are more in your face, more, Motorhead, AC/DC, more of an in your face kind of, hard rock band. Just talk about that style and how that style of music continues for you guys when so many bands in your country are doing more kind of, more pop style of hard rock, which I love as well. But what you guys do is very, very different, very, very special, I think.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, yes, there is a clear difference. They're more like slick and more inspired by the 80s. I
Yeah.
would say in general. I mean, we definitely have our 80s little tribute things all around spread out, but we always like, I think like the 70s is more the era that we're taking inspiration from generally. And then I don't know, it's just something that we all love. It would be I don't know anything else. You know what I mean? Like the blues rock thing that just comes from my heart, and it's the same for the girls. Like we all have that in us, and I think it's really cool that we as an all-female rock band play classic rock. I mean, there's not that many out there doing it. There's coming up more and more in other sides of the rock, like metal and blah blah blah. But I think I don't know. I couldn't see myself doing anything else. It's a good question though, because I never even thought about us being more or less the only ones doing what we do. And there's guys doing it, but they haven't been able to evolve the genre, like not to sound like shady or anything, but like I feel like we've done. Whereas we're taking the AC/DC DNA and mixing it up with a lot of different influences. We haven't like boxed ourselves in as hard as some other bands that are like a copy of AC/DC or Airborne or whatever. So I
Mm-hmm.
think in that sense, and I contribute that to the mix of me, Emily, and Filippa writing together because we all come from different musical backgrounds. And when we write together, then you get a little bit of everything instead of just like one-sided like AC/DC thing, which is also amazing and great. And we will never lose that part of us. But I like that we have a little broader mix now.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very well said. So, speaking of musical influences, talk about yours, because when I look at where we are today, and you mentioned an all-female band that you guys are, I hadn't brought that up because to me, it's almost like today. At one time, a band like Girl School, take for instance, every time they played, every question is, what's it like to be an all-girl band in a male-dominated world? Vixen, these type of bands. I feel like that we've come so far. The rock community embraces so many different types of rock music and metal that it's almost like a second thought that, or no, you don't give much thought to it all, that you guys are an all-girl band because you guys are just so accepted for the music you make. And I think that's tremendous. So kind of talk about your musical influences and the idea that you guys are accepted the way you are, whereas bands of the past maybe had to have that stigma of an all-girl band.
I think it's a little bit of both. Like I love that you say that, but the reality is that not everyone is on the same page. And that was
Yeah.
the only reason that I mentioned it, because in some cases, I mean, I'm doing a lot of interviews and it's very much still, a thing. And I mean, I see the good and the bad sides to it. Like it's definitely makes it so we stand out, but it doesn't makes it so it doesn't make, how would I say this? Like we're not getting any opportunities because we are just girls. We're getting them because we deserve them and we're good enough to take on those responsibilities and opportunities that come our way. But we are four girls, and it is pretty unique. And historically, nobody has been aiming, or maybe they have, I don't know that actually, but the goals for us as a band and me personally is to like be part of the music history in a sense of becoming one of those, the first all-female band to be as big as AC/DC or Guns N' Roses or Foo Fighters. You know, there's never, like, there haven't been any bands, as far as I know, that have taken that step to that major level. And not many bands are doing it at all since many years back. But I think it would be extra cool because that would make us the first band doing that kind of thing. But us being females and musicians, I mean, that doesn't matter really, but yeah, it happens to be our gender, I guess. Yeah.
You're right. And I guess on one hand, it should be celebrated because, you know, you are all amazingly powerful women, all very talented. And so we should celebrate that. It just, you know, shouldn't be the first thing people think of. It's just, it's like, you know, I've seen the Iron Maidens, who are amazing. And like, it just, obviously there's kind of a novelty since they're females playing Iron Maiden songs, but still it's just like, gosh, Bruce Chickenson, her voice is incredible. When I see Thundermother, when I see these videos and I see your live performances, your voice, it stands out. It's incredible. And it's, you know, it's rock and roll, and that's what's great. And I think that you're right. I've talked about this before. Maybe since Guns N' Roses, has there been a band that has just completely set the world on fire and that just completely changes everything? And I don't think there has, Guernica. I think that maybe in 1987 was the last time we've seen that happen. And maybe there, and hopefully in today's climate, there's room for that to occur once again. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
I mean, it is a dream of mine. I'm not gonna lie. I really want to be part of like the renaissance of rock again. You know what I mean?
I
Like
love that.
bringing it back, like at a big level. Yeah, the
Yeah.
only band that come to mind now is like Rammstein and yeah, the like Foo Fighters. I mean, they've been around since the 90s. Now I don't know what's gonna happen there, but they've been playing arenas and been huge. So yeah, it would be very cool to be successful at that level like they have been.
What are some of your influences? Because I think I saw an interview maybe where you talked about how you really got into hard rock because of a guy you dated at one point. Is that, would talk about that story and kind of what you were listening to prior to that, and like did that change sort of your sort of musical direction at all?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny that you ask.
I just
I've always listened to a lot of different music, and I remember as like I'm a preteen, my sister came home with the Appetite for Destruction album, and not Appetite for Destruction. I mean, Tragic Kingdom.
oh,
You
no
know,
doubt.
No Doubt. And I just remember like kind of falling in love with Gwen Stefani and thinking she was the coolest thing ever. And like in my mind, she's always been like a style icon and just been a badass female that I really look up to. And so fast forward, I've always like to high school. It was, yeah, I started dating a sleaze rocker, and I got into like all the 80s rock much more. I mean, most of the music I had heard, but I think I'm part of a generation like now you listen to songs, like you have a single, or you just, I didn't take the time and like getting all the records and blah blah blah. So I knew like songs. Like my first, we did a little cassette tape. I remember. I'm jumping around. My history is weird now. Sorry, but I remember my first festival I went to with friends. I was 16. Me and my friend had made a mixtape with it was like Holy Diver on there and Ace of Spades, and I don't remember the rest, but it was like those songs really stuck out to me, and I was like 16 then. But yeah, a few years later, I started dating this sleaze rocker, and I got really into like the 80s type scene, just like Crazy Licks and all these bands that you'd mentioned. And yeah, I kind of like, I've always liked like a little more hard, like slightly harder stuff. So Skid Row really stood out to me. And when I started like really trying to sing rock music, Sebastian Bach was like the one singer that I really felt how would I say,
like connected to, or
connected to. Like I didn't feel I found any at that time females within the rock scene that I felt had the same kind of voice that I had, the same type of style and the way of like, yeah, the placement and all these things and the range and da da da. So his voice was really like a guiding, guiding star there in the beginning. Yeah, so Skid Row has a special place in my heart for sure. But yeah, I've always listened to all kinds of music, and I'm a big hip hop fan, big R&B fan. So I think
Awesome.
that's a big reason when I did start writing my own stuff, it came out very blues rock, because yeah, I've always listened my like Earth, Wind and Fire, like we always listen to records of them, and like it's just all over the place. I feel like I could probably have a whole hour's talk show about just talking about the music that have inspired me in some sort of way.
Absolutely. Well, that is great. I think being well-rounded is so important as you're making music, because you draw influences from different areas and not to be stuck in one path. And that's tremendous. Well, before we get to our final four drum roll, Guernica, which is four quick hitting questions, and you'll give us kind of whatever answer comes to mind. It'll be fun. Got to remind everyone to that you can pre-order the album. We got a week to do it. It comes out August 19th through AFM Records. You can do it on the band's website, of course, which is thundermother.com, and through AFM Records. It is absolutely tremendous, and I think it's the album of the summer so far. Black and Gold is what it's called. So, Guernica, are you ready for our final four drum roll here? We'll have some fun.
Oh, yeah. Hit me.
I'm ready. So you talked about kind of some of the bands you were listening to, but you've got to give us your first ever concert. What was your first ever concert you ever attended?
My first ever concert. It must have been like one of my dad's. He played it in cover bands and stuff like that. But you mean like a big, like a real,
yeah,
like someone that's famous. My first ever concert. Shit, I can't remember. Like it doesn't. Nothing comes to mind. I don't like. I can't. Sorry.
Like it's all like you went to so many that it's like it could be any, or was it just like kind of a blur, or what? Did you go to?
But I mean, it's blurry. But it must have been like some sort of Swedish artist or something.
Okay, right. Yeah, gotcha. What? So the new album Black and Gold, it's tremendous. Is there, now you mentioned that you may be adding some songs to the set, so you don't have to maybe pull the curtain back too much, but is there a song or songs from the album that you are most looking forward to singing in a live setting, or one that you already have throughout the summertime? Is there a song or two that stands out that you like singing the most from the new album?
I really like doing when we play Watch Out. I think that's really a fun song because I get to showcase like different skills, vocal skills that I have. So I enjoy that. I'm also very much looking forward to when we add Light in the Sky, because I think that's such an epic song. It's the opening of the album. So it's not released yet. You'll hear it, and when you get the album, it's out. It's in there. Also the ballad Borrowed Time, I think it is amazing, and it's going to be really nice when we decide to do like when we add a ballad to the set, which we won't unfortunately for this 40-minute set, but when we do 90 minutes during the spring tour, I'm definitely going to add a ballad, and I'm excited for that.
Okay, question 3, I have to just forgive me because I feel like this is just, I always like to do fun, different interviews. This is sort of like that typical idiot question that you guys get probably a million times. But I was thinking about how we've had Vixen on the show before and like had some really fun conversations about it. So I'm just going to ask you, because the answer always seems to be kind of funny when it comes to this. You're not, yeah, as an all-girl band, do you guys get we know, because we know what it's like for male bands. It's been as old as time, from Elvis Presley on up. Women follow guys around. We know what groupies are like. What
groupies? Okay, I was like getting scared. I was like, what's coming up now?
Meaning, do you ladies have guys following you around like the guys do? Is it different? How's that dynamic?
It's completely different for female. It's like night and day. I mean, I'm in a very happy relationship now, so I'm satisfied.
There you go.
But when I joined the band, I was like hoping to live out my like the dirt dream and be like the rock star and be groupies everywhere and blah blah blah. But no, that does not happen. You're more like a nun on tour. Like nothing happens unless you go out and get it for yourself. And
Wow.
that's how it is for female musicians most of the time.
Plus, like when it
Very proactive. And I think females in general also, when you're interested in someone, you want at least for the moment to feel that they're an equal. I don't think females get it off. Oh, maybe you can't say that, but we don't get off.
you
Can you say that?
can, yeah, you
During
can, yes, you can.
we don't we don't like, it's not like a big thing to have someone that's like looking up to you. And I don't know, I guess females like guys or girls or whatever that are confident and know who they are and know their worth. And if you're a groupie and like beneath a person, it's like not attractive. So I think that could be good too.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. I'm so glad I asked now. Plus, guys, I don't know, guys are like shy. They have these like fragile egos. They don't want to get turned down. I think a lot of guys would just stand in the corner and like, I really like the new album.
Yeah,
So,
I love that question though.
I'm glad I went there. I usually steer away, but hey, that's great. Okay. So question 4, what was COVID like for you guys, and how freaking glad are we that this is now in the rear view mirror in most ways?
I'll start with the last question. I mean, the last part. I'm fucking happy. Like, I'm so excited about playing for big, proper audiences, and also to, just be out there meeting people, all these things that are such a big part of our job, like touring life. It's been very lonely these past COVID years. I mean, we have been probably one of the only bands that did any type of touring during the pandemic. We did all these like modified shows in Germany, and we played on a fire truck, and we did all these. We tried to be as creative as possible, which was great because now I feel like it has paid off, where I see a much bigger audience for us, and people really respect our fighting spirit. That's that we right. Never give up. You know what I mean? But in retrospect, I'm not 100% if it was the right choice. But you live and you learn. As like just morally, if that was a good idea. But we never even thought twice about it. We were just like, as soon as the pandemic hit, we were like, how are we gonna, work around this? Like, can we be creative? What can we do besides streams? Like what, everything like that. So in that sense, I think I'm proud of us, and, our never giving up attitude. But yeah, it's been tough, performing for 50 people wearing a mask, sitting down, and you're giving them the same amount of energy that you give a regular audience. It gets very draining, and we've become a much better, like a stronger band. We're better performers and all these things because we can practically perform for anybody now. Yeah. And it's not a big issue. So that's a great thing to take out of it. But it's also gone to a point where we've been very drained, like energy wise, because you're not receiving that energy that you usually get from the audience. You're just putting out, like giving energy and not getting anything back. Even though I know they would have loved to give, but because of the rules and regulations, you couldn't. So yeah, it's like a 50-50 thing.
Oh, that I'll tell you, the people are back, and it's better than ever. And I took it for granted, and I will never take for granted a live performance again. And Guernica, it's been so much of a pleasure for us to have you. I will see you September 21st in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The tour here in North America starts here on August 21st. It's coming right up in just a couple weeks. The album comes out next week. It's Black and Gold on the 19th through AFM Records. Guernica, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. It's just been awesome, and continued success to you guys, because the album's tremendous, and we'll see you here in about a month. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.